check his bed. Grease to the threads, otherwise might be too sticky to take it off afterwards. If you are changing barrels or stuff like that. Excellent. Then it's not depending on which side it's okay. And we need here grease.
Okay.
For the seal. Here. A side always a little bit more grease. First, when you the first time take the transfer pumps in work, you tight with this one the sealings, the packings. Okay? And then filling up the cup full of a little bit underneath the holes, alright? So that's not a real amount, I'm not sure how much it is, but as you can see, it's now 2-3 millimeters underneath the opening of the holes. So here we have leveling at the sides, so I'm filling, and then you here see the level comes up. I'm always pressing until something is leaking out, then I know it's fully full of material, of a piston loop of oil. Okay, both are closed. Yeah, the intake valves are both closed, that's fine. Because now we need to start up the compressor, keep the pumps closed. Both pumps are now closed and the handles for the intake valves are also closed, so we're going to... So now checking if there is a leakage. That's still from the piston loop, so that's nothing to happen, but we are checking hose is fine. On the other side, please check if there is a leakage at the bottom of the intake. Get the mask. Don't play with your health. Okay. Put it on side. I would start with the poliuretanice. I'm going to unlink the unit. Perfect. The heater block always 5 degrees lower than the lowest temperature on each side. Oh, that's too much. So 35 for the heater block. Ah, come on. For these two O-rings and as well for these two O-rings. Then keeping up the gun. That's okay. Okay, thank you. The next thing I'm checking is I turn on the air. That's now the constant cleaning, okay?
Okay.
These ones are still slow.
Yes.
Now the trigger lock is slow and I first check. Okay, lock is working, yeah? Just a little one. Then I unlock and I check if it's also doing. Then I check for air leakage around here. If it's okay.
Yes.
So gun is ready to use.
Did you already link the pump?
Not yet. I'm linking them when I have the pressure set it. But I'm first waiting for the temperatures to be at the place I want to have them. Then the level is sinking a little bit, so you just static pressure. Yeah, the static pressure is the same like the dynamic pressure. If not, we are adjusting temperatures for A and B side to a different stage, depending if it needs to be more or less liquid, we are using A or B side. Now, pressures are set. I set these are 1600, 1600. Now, we are linking. Now, we are open left and right side.
Okay.
I'm always holding my hand like this. Okay. Fully open, one turn back. Fully open, one turn back. Take the middle one here.
Yes.
Place the grease gun. Make sure that it's fully in.
Yes.
Oh, also clean a little bit the nozzle off. And then you push it until the grease comes out of the front. Okay?
Ok. Deci celulă închisă, frate. Suntem într-o celulă închisă și produsul nostru este această spumă poliuretanică, care, iată, expandează ca volum între 1 și 3 cm în funcție de cum dorește aplicatorul, cât de schil este. Și, bineînțeles, avem problemele de grosime uniformă a stratului, care derivă nu din capacitatea pompei, nu din ce știe produsul, ci din mâna aplicatorului, din mâna operatorului. Așa că, pentru celula închisă, maxim 3 cm rețineți și un poanie foarte bun, aș spune peste Simona Halep.
Going to make a break, I would also lower the temperatures, okay? Just to make sure that nothing can happen. Normally with foam it's not so hazardous, but with some coatings it can appear that these ones, if they are constantly heated, raise up really high over the maximum the machine is capable of, and then poof. Okay, so safety wise I would always go down to a lower temperature, and then you can keep the machine like this. Maybe safety wise close here and shut down the pumps. So even if the forklift is driving through the unit, not everything is now then pumping around all the time for safety reasons, something like that. Okay? Okay.
Suntem la Italia Star și astăzi vom discuta despre mașina Titan VR 2.3 împreună cu Thomas Scharfe. Este specialistul pentru aplicarea produselor de infrastructură a producătorilor Titan și Wagner, care sunt reprezentați pe piața din România de Italia Star. Astăzi am avut o aplicație, un training cu specialiștii Italia Star pentru realizarea pulverizărilor substanțelor care pot fi aplicate cu această mașină și îl voi invita pe Thomas să ne povestească pe scurt ce s-a întâmplat astăzi. Hi Thomas.
Hi.
Tell me something about this machine.
Yes, sure. Thanks for having me. So we have here our Helix VR 2.3 poliurea application machine 2K method. So we are here having the material barrels, the big ones, with the two transfer pumps, which are bringing the material to the intake of the two separate doser pumps. Yes. And then we have here our controls, where we are then achieving the recommended temperatures for these materials. Here we have a closed cell polyurethane foam. Then we have the heating elements for the heater block, coming up with the two pump controls, which are separating and mixing the ratio in a 1-to-1 ratio and applicating them throughout to the heated hose up into the front of the gun, where the impingement mixing takes place and the application can be done.
So it's a very versatile machine because you mentioned polyurethane, some liquid membranes.
Yes.
In order to be sprayed over the surfaces for waterproofing.
Excellent, yes.
And for thermo-insulations.
Correct. So mostly with the VR you are capable of the full range of materials which are mainly available on the market in cases of polyurea coatings, polyurethane foams, closed, open cell. All these things are even possible, and even with this machine we have the specialty of a variable mixing ratio if needed.
I wish to add for the specialist applicators in the Romanian market that this complex of machines can be used as well on site, but in the other hand we can have it on a truck.
Correct.
In order to be a mobile laboratory for workshops. Huh?
Yes, at least as you can see our cart is already available and equipped with wheels and a good hose reel, so it's quite versatile, usable for using it in a trailer. You can get it manually stored in an area and get it even maybe for some industrial applications available, and for sure it's mostly, it's really open-minded, usable.
Okay. What about this technical solution, the thermal insulation with PU foams? You are very confident in closed cell and open cell?
Well, I like this because the open and closed cell foams are, if you compare it to wool, the wool is not as good isolating because it's not getting in every corner. So with this kind of isolation, it's more mandatory and more nicer to have a better R-weld for the isolation.
So it's a continuous layer without the thermal bridges, huh?
Excellent, that's correctly what I was trying to tell.
Thank you very much.
And like this you can keep the unit for the next day for demo or like this, and I always like them to clean up. Take off A and B screen. So here you can see filter, good quality, not so dark, everything is fine, really good material.
Have here one.
Then we take Take care that it's still ISO on it. Yeah? Don't throw it in, yeah? Just quickly, not leave it inside, yeah? The O-rings will expand, okay? The black ones. We can undo the chamber.
Yes.
Like this. So, as you can see, there is a ball, so it needs to be clapped in like that to hold.
Yes.
Alright? And this is fine now. Alright, just grease, yeah, that's no problem. This one can be now inside. There is no more O-ring within, which is taking issues with the solvent. Okay, we take care about the nozzle later on. So now I take the big one. Normally you take them off.
Yes.
I'm always placing that one inside like that. And then give it a flush like this.
Okay.
So make sure that it's cleaned well. Looking inside, looks fine. Other side. So for the check wells, yeah, to make sure that the passing way is clean to the filters. There we go. So now we're taking more care about the screens. So I'm taking off the valve. So the important thing is always don't hesitate to use grease. The more grease you take, the better it is. Giving grease.
Because the grease will easily disappear when you activate the compressor.
In this part not, just the middle part, but this one now, because if you now store it away, you want to have it greased to make sure that it is clean for the next time. But when you fill up the gun again, then the grease will be pushed out by the material. Now we check if both ones are flexible. Yeah, the spring is working. Perfect. This one as well. Perfect. Okay. So now we need to check for the nozzle. In this case, the nozzle was not used that often, but for a whole working day. With every nozzle there comes the little drills, which are able then to drill the holes clean if needed. This one is clean, yeah, we haven't used it that often much, but for a whole working day it might sometimes be recommended to drill out the holes, yeah. So the mixing chamber is fine as it is. So we first place the mixing chamber inside to the gun. Also as well here, be aware of using grease. Then PMC, yeah, the number always on top to this, not like this. Okay, so that's the mixing chamber in the correct position. Perfect. Then we are mounting it again to the gun head. Yeah, so the round one goes on top like this and being pushed like that. And then we can use the thread and the ring again to tighten the mixing chamber. Okay, perfect. And now last thing would be greasing the both threads for the both filter screens. Like this. And then outside A comes to A and R comes to R. So please also not messing it up. Always important to not mix A and B. Or A and R in this case. Then we tight both screens. And then the last thing I like to do is, just for making sure that everything is fine, giving it a grease here. for these two O-rings. And the last operation is again giving the whole chamber a grease check if it comes out of all 4 holes. It does. So like this, then I like to place it around with a rag to make sure that's being cleaned, and you can store it away for using it the next day or even
Protect
longer.
against the dust.
Pardon?
Protect against the dust.
Yes. And now let's get bucket and pump down to the ground again. For not messing around that much.
Ba da, cum să mă leam o mașină.
Actually, we can leave it off. It's okay. Now you hear materials or and now we turn down the A pump now, yeah, that close here, yeah. High pressure.
Dai. Now we wait for it to do the same.
So now quickly. Lowest position. This one. Now it's down.
Helix VR2.3 de la Titan este o pompă care poate realiza aplicarea substanțelor bicomponente, cum sunt rășinile poliuretanice, poliuree sau rășinile epoxidice. Nu întotdeauna rația de amestec dintre cele două componente este 1 la 1 și o calitate deosebit de importantă pentru rășini bicomponente care au nevoie de dozaje diferite, așa cum le-a prestabilit producătorul, poate fi ajustată din panoul de comandă și control. Ce poți să ne spui despre chestia asta, Marius?
Bună ziua! Această pompă ne permite odată modificarea debitului variabil între rata de amestec de la 1.1 până la 4.1, 4.2
în funcție de prescripția producătorului.
În funcție de prescripția producătorului de material.
Cu alte cuvinte, dacă rația de amestec comparativ cu rășina poliuretanică este 1 la 1 și trebuie să fie 3.2 sau 3.1, eu pot să fac această ajustare din panoul de comandă și control, conform prescripției producătorului, și atunci pompele dozatoare își calibrează debitul, respectând cu mare precizie această rație de amestec. Iar toată povestea asta se întâmplă datorită armonizării pulsului lucrativ între cele două pompe,
care le aveți aici,
a debitului și a viscozității materialului.
Și a temperaturilor diferite
de aplicare. Iar toate aceste lucruri practic se văd în meniu, în setarea pompei, pe care o poate face operatorul cunoscând cu precizie rația de amestec recomandată de producător.